Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn the poem A Dust of Snow, written by the famous American poet Robert Frost. He is very much familiar to you. No special introduction is needed regarding this poet. The poem, the road not taken that you have learned in class 9, itself is self-explanatory about the style of his poetry. Most of his poems are famous for its symbolic meanings. Here, our poem Dust of Snow is a very short and small poem of only 8 lines, yet it has a larger and deeper meaning. Here in this poem, the poet explains how an insignificant thing in his life turned to significant. If we go to the poem, let us read the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I have ruled. From this poem itself, it is very clear that it is a very short poem. It is a very small poem of 2 stanzas. Each stanza consists of 4 lines. If we go to the glossary of this poem, dust of snow means fine particles of snow. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree with white flowers. Another word in the last stanza it is root. The root means held in regret. All the other words are familiar to you. And if we see the poem, we can see that is from the first stanza, we can assume that the poet was sitting under a hemlock tree. It is a poisonous tree and the tree was covered with snow. That day, the mood of the poet was not good. The poet was not in a good mood. That time, what happened there? A crow, from somewhere, a crow alighted on its branches of the tree. It shook its feathers. As a result of that, some fine particles of snow fell on the poet. The falling of the snow gave the poet a change of mood. That is from the first line. That is from we have already told that the mood of the poet was not good. The falling of the snow gave the poet a change of mood. His day was saved from disappointment. Otherwise, his day would have been wasted. Here, if we analyze the poem, we can see that a simple thing, that is a dust of snow, can bring a significant change in the life of the poet. The falling of the snow touched not only his body but also his heart. We know that usually a crow symbolizes bad omen and also an emblem of death and fear. Along with the scary crow, the hemlock tree also a symbol of bad omen. It is a poisonous tree. Here, Frost used these 2 unconventional images as the carriers of happiness in his life. Maybe he wants to remember us. He wants to share with us that it is we who differentiated all these things. It is we who made the difference between good omens and bad omens. For nature, each and everything is the creation of God and have equal importance. So he didn't use the auspicious images of pine, oak, or maple, or the birds like cuckoo, myna, or peacock. Here, Frost used 2 negative elements of life to highlight that sometimes creatures linked with negative aspects of life can be the bringer of happiness and change in our life. The falling of the snow was enough to change his day from disappointment. And sometimes we take, that is, it is our natural practice, that is, sometimes we take irrelevant things, silly things to our mind, and we, maybe not a day, many days we used to waste by thinking about all these things, by thinking about all these unnecessary things. That time, if we go directly into nature, if we go contact with nature, and that is, we should get all the remedies of our problems, we should have the remedies of all our problems from nature. It is our response and attitude. It is our response to nature. It is our attitude that matters the most. Just like we should have eyes to see and we should have ears to listen, just like that, we should have a positive outlook even towards simple acts, because they can lead to the learning of greater lessons of enjoying life. In the end of the poem, the poet feels relaxed and thankful to the nature and for saving his day from being wasted. if we go to the poetic devices used by the poet in this poem, first of all, that is, we may see the rhyme scheme of this poem. That is the word, the crow. That is, it is very clear that the word crow is rhymed with snow and the word me rhymed with tree. So in the first stanza, the rhyme scheme is A, B, A, B. In the second stanza, heart rhymed with park and mood rhymed with road. So in the second stanza, the rhyme scheme is C, D, C, D. So the rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D. Another poetic device used in this poem is assonance. The prominence of vowel sound throughout the line is called assonance. And that is in stanza first, in the second line, shook down on me. Here the O sound is prominent here. So that is the poetic device used here is assonance. Another poetic device is that alliteration. Alliteration means the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words are called alliteration. And here, has given my heart, has given my heart. Here H is repeated here. And saved some part. Here S is repeated here. So here the poetic device used is alliteration. Another poetic device is that enjambment. Enjambment is that when the same sentence continues to the next line without any punctuation marks is called enjambment. Here we can see that the same sentence, a crow shook down on me. Here, and snow from a hemlock tree. Heart, a change of mood and saved some part of a day. Here all the sentences, all the lines continues to the next line without using any punctuation marks. So here the device used by the poet is enjambment. These are the poetic devices used in this poem. If we go through the questions that given in the thinking about the poem, the first question is, what is a dust of snow? What does the poet say has changed his mood? How has the poet's mood changed? That is, you know that a dust of snow means a small particles of snow. The dust of snow changed the poet's mood. The poet's mood changed from that of dismay to joy. He was holding the day in regret when this dust of snow fell on him, and this simple little thing brought him some joy. Another question that is given here is that, what are the birds that are usually named in poems? Do you think a crow is often mentioned in poems? What image comes to your mind when you think of a crow? Here, that is in the poem also we have discussed that Robert Frost used unconventional images, and that is not preferred by the other poets. He used unconventional images, and so we can say that Frost has presented nature in quite an unconventional manner. While in other nature poems we come across birds such as nightingale or sparrows, Frost has used a crow in this poem. A crow can be associated with something dark, black and foreboding. That's why other poets usually mention singing nightingales or beautiful white doves in their poems. Also, the poet was written about a hemlock tree, which is a poisonous tree. He has not written about a more beautiful tree such as maple, an oak tree or a pine tree, because these trees symbolize beauty and happiness. Frost wanted to symbolize the feelings of sadness and regret, which is why he has used a hemlock tree. The crow and the hemlock tree represent sorrow. The dust of snow that is shaken off the hemlock tree by the crow stands for joy that Frost experiences in his life on that day. He has therefore used an unconventional tree and the bird in order to contrast them with joy in the form of snow.